We now move to the most important highlight of the 2 days seminar on Indian ethos, and I now request revered Swami Ranganathananda ji Maharaj to deliver the inaugural address on the theme Human Values, the Need of Modern Management. Swamiji.
To give us a comprehensive vision of life, that is what we got first in the Bhagavad Gita. The best textbook of practical Vedanta is the Bhagavad Gita, according to Swami Vivekananda. And the Gita is based upon man at work. Here is a man working. Krishna, the author of the Gita, gently whispers into his ears, work efficiently, work efficiently. That is the philosophy I am going to tell you. Generally, religions have a person at prayer or meditation or ecstasy as a subject of discussion. Not so the Gita. The main subject of discussion is the human being at work. How to make him work efficiently. And he defines his philosophy as yoga. And he defines yoga as karmasu kaushalam, efficiency in action. This is something profound. We have not utilized this truth in our day-to-day life. We kept Gita as something to be worshipped and honored, that is all. Today, the time has come that we apply this great Vedanta to all aspects of human life, including management. Management is only one aspect of human life, but there are several aspects. It is a comprehensive philosophy that you get in the Bhagavad Gita. So when Krishna defined his yoga karmasu kaushala. Yoga is efficiency in action. In management, we want efficiency, productivity. That is the purpose of management. We want to increase productivity. And we need a cooperation between the manager and the workers. It is all a human concern. All this is included in Krishna's concept of yoga. That yoga by which you produce efficiently. But in the process of producing efficiently, you also develop something within yourself. You approach closer to your own essential nature. That nature is divine. That is the supreme teaching of Vedanta. Within this body-mind complex is a spark of divinity, and the same spark is in every human being. There is the one behind the many. Vedanta explains this great idea. They achieved this just like any science. Science of man in depth. We have science of matter in depth today in nuclear science. But science of man in depth we never had before. Only in the Upanishads. In no other literature you will find this study of the human being in depth. Behind the body-mind complex, we have an infinite dimension of the human personality. The little I that makes us dominate the whole of nature is not our true nature. We have a deeper I, an infinite I, expansive, one with all. That I must be manifested in human life and human work. That work will be quite different from the work that comes from my tiny ego on the surface of this mental system. We have to realize that truth in the course of work itself, not separately, but in the course of work itself. And so that definition, yoga is efficiency in action, has a double efficiency. One is productive efficiency outside, the other is spiritual efficiency within oneself. More spiritual we are, the better we shall produce, and better good that production will do to the world. This second idea of efficiency is never emphasized anywhere. Even in India, we never knew how to emphasize it. That is what we need today, that as I work, I produce, and as I produce, I also grow spiritually within myself. This is a practical proposition. When we turn our attention to it, we shall be able to realize more and more of it. In this way, this great truth of Vedanta has to be applied not only to management. Management is a wide term. You can manage a school, manage a college, manage a university, manage the whole state. The Prime Minister and others, they are all managers. But in all these matters, there is a certain mental maturity that makes for a double efficiency, both productive as well as spiritual. That is to be achieved according to the Bhagavad Gita. The whole of the Gita is based on this comprehensive idea of human development, what we call today human resource development. Julian Huxley, famous biologist, has said we have many sciences today, but we need a new science, and he calls it the science of human possibilities. What a beautiful conception. What are the possibilities hidden in every human being? A newborn baby, look at its eyes, shining eyes. It shows some depth to that baby. What is the nature of that depth? A doll baby has no depth. Its eyes are bland. There is nothing inside. But a living baby shows some depth to that eye. What is that depth dimension? This was the great investigation Vedanta undertook ages ago. Great scientific minds, brilliant minds, these sages of the Upanishads, these extremely subtle minds, they penetrated into the human system by the same mind which we apply to world outside. And there they discovered the infinite behind the finite, the immortal behind the mortal, that we call the Atman. This is the great truth you get in the Upanishads, and there is only one Atman in the whole world, in you, in me, only one, like a thread that unites all the flowers in a garland. That thread which is invisible, but yet it makes for the garland. That is God described in the Bhagavad Gita also. Now here is a concept of the divine which has nothing to do with some theory, with some dogma, with some creed, some extra cosmic God sitting far away in the sky. It is here itself. You and I have got a tremendous value within ourselves. There was a famous French thinker, Pascal. He wrote, "In space, the universe engulfs me and reduces me to a pinpoint." What a beautiful truth it is. Spatially speaking, you and I are simply a speck of dust in this universe, and we are nobody. And then the second sentence is, but through thought we understand that universe. That infinite universe we are able to understand. There is some other dimension within this physical system. This is not the whole of human nature. There is something profound. That is what the investigation of the Upanishads showed. The infinite, the immortal Atman is in every human being. Krishna said in the 13th chapter, this body is a kshetra, and there is an over the kshetra within me. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhidhiyate. Etad yo veti tam paraho kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. He who knows this kshetra is called kshetrajna, knower of the kshetra. And the next sloka says, I am the one kshetrajna in all the kshetras. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In every human being, in every being, I am the kshetrajna. I am the essential knower. The other knower is only just an expression of myself in external life. In this way, a profound truth was expounded in the Upanishads. We call it Vedanta. Its practical application in daily life was shown to Arjuna by Krishna in the Gita. And the first three chapters deal with this subject, especially second and third. This yoga is expounded. a simple word, yoga. Yoga means union. Union with some profound truth within yourself. We can do it in any aspect of life. And every piece of work can become a field for this kind of inward development. If we do not have this inward development, we may have all the external productivity, and yet we will become empty day by day. You produce so much for society, you become empty day by day. What's the use of that? You also must become full. In this way, human development and socio-economic development, they should go together. But human development doesn't mean merely eating and drinking and all the consumer pleasures we are having today through modern technology. That human development is manifestation of some profound dimension hidden in every human being. So, in the context of management, we have to develop this wonderful aspect as well, out of which will come all values. Otherwise, proud, arrogant type of manager can be there. So also ignorant workers also can be there. We want all human beings to rise very high, realize their own special nature as a spark of the divine, both the worker and the manager. So this whole system of management we have to approach from this deep philosophy point of view, which we have never done before. We have never put it into practice. We have so many superstitions, so many cock and bull stories to guide us in the name of religion. We have never tried this before. Swamiji wanted this to be a great experiment in the modern period, a Vedantic India, a Vedantic civilization, a Vedantic type of management. Swamiji wanted that, and he has given some indication how it can be done. And that is why during the last few years we have begun to think, is there an Indian approach to management? Can our philosophy be applied to the concept of management? We were indebted to England first, later on to America, and now we are inspired also by Japan. Japan has taken great ideas from India. They made it practical there, which we never did here. They have done tremendous work in this field, and they have achieved tremendous high productivity, though personality development has not been as deep. But today we can think afresh, and that thinking has started. It's just the beginning. Within the next few decades, we shall express Vedanta in every aspect of human life. We create a Vedantic society in India, Vedantic civilization. That is Swami Vivekananda's teaching. And there you will find the central fruit of that philosophy will be humanistic impulse, a concern for others, a feeling of oneness, what you call love. This is the fruit of that spiritual development within each individual. You and I are one. We are not opposed to each other. We are not two billiard balls colliding against each other. That was the condition before. In fact, we have collided with each other for the last several centuries in our country. That's why we lost our freedom also. This kind of collision must stop. There must be understanding that we are all one. It was Bertrand Russell who said, man becomes a billiard ball colliding against other human beings like other billiard balls. A billiard ball cannot enter into each other, but a human being must learn how to enter into each other, how to communicate with each other. How can it happen? Not on the basis of this given ego, this little I, as I said, which dominates the whole of nature. Animals have no ego, they have no self, but only a human being gets the self, and that too after 1.5 to 2 years of childhood. Then only the child gets the little ego value within itself. As soon as it comes, it gets power. It can control the nature outside. It can control animals. I have seen 6-year-old boys controlling big elephants in Kerala. Where from? The child gets his power, not his muscle. Elephant is very powerful, but this I is the center of tremendous power. If this little ego has so much power, if you go deep enough and find its real nature, how much infinite strength we shall get. That is what we have to realize. Vedanta considers the ego as only as I am quoting A.G. Wells' book, The Science of Life, a convenient, provisional delusion of considerable strategic value in evolution. This ego has a strategic value. That ego is needed to control nature outside. Take evolution into your own hands. No more nature is going to do evolution for me. Nature did it for subhuman species, but a human being has to find evolution for himself or for herself. This kind of thing must come. If that is so, then this ego needs to be investigated. What is its true dimension? They answered, as a rock seen on the surface of water on the sea, just a small piece of rock. And we say it's a small piece of rock. That is true. What is visible is a small piece of rock. But dive deep, you will find an immense rock reaching up to the bottom. That is the ego which we need to penetrate and discover the infinite behind the finite. The infinite man behind the finite man. That is what the sage said when he realized this truth, as occurred in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. I have realized this infinite man behind the finite man. There's a wonderful statement. This is what Vivekananda quoted, Chicago Parliament of Religions. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. Mahantam Purusham I have realized. Behind this tiny Purusha that is within me, that I have realized, and everyone can realize. It's a truth. It's not an opinion. It's not a doctrine. It's a truth about you. It's a wonderful idea. This has been expressed in several words, in several passages, in many Upanishads. One famous passage which has attracted the attention of nuclear scientists in the West is from Chandogya Upanishad, and the father telling the son, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, you are that, you are that. You are not this tiny thing, this tiny creeping thing. There is something infinite about you. Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. A man like Schrödinger was so fond of this teaching. Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. Let men and women realize there is something bigger than what the senses reveal. Senses reveal so little about the human being. There is something profound within. That is called Tattvamasi. And this can be realized by one and all. It is not a doctrine. It is not something to be believed in. It is something to be experienced. We must rise higher and higher. In the work situation, I must achieve this development as well. I can go to a forest and achieve it, but how many can go? Millions of people have to work. But in the midst of work, can I get it? Krishna alone said, everyone can achieve the spiritual growth within as they work in the world outside. So today's management techniques, where the manager, the worker, all these various components, they are working, they are producing, enriching society. They are also enriching themselves. That second step must come by applying the teaching of the Gita. That is called yoga. Krishna therefore exhorts Arjuna and all of us, Tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. Be a yogi, Arjuna. So when we use the word yogi, we have got a varied understanding of some bearded old man sitting there in a very thin, absolutely thin body. That kind of yogi, no such thing. Absolutely nothing mystical, magical in this word. A good worker who works and produces and at the same time develops character, sense of values by spiritual development. That is all meaning of the word yogi. Krishna's yoga is of that nature, very, very practical, and everybody can do it in the household. The housewife can be a yogi. She may not have a label called yogi, don't want this label at all. So the whole teaching of the Gita is this practical yoga, practical Vedanta. And the last shloka of the Gita also, Sanjaya says, wherever there is Krishna, the master of yoga, wherever there is Arjuna, the great hero of action. See, meditation and action must go together. These are two. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. In that society, what will be the fruit? Tatra Shri, prosperity will come in that country. Tatra Shri, Vijayo, success. Every undertaking will achieve success. Then Dhruva Niti, constant sense of justice will come to society. We are producing today, we are developing our industry, but justice is nowhere there. Absolute injustice you will find in every department of life, whereas this teaching says justice also will come. Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti. Bhuti is prosperity. And Dhruva Nitihi, constant sense of justice will be there in that society. That is the India that we have to keep before us, which is the philosophy that will help us to achieve it through industry, agriculture, administration, etc., etc. Today, the administration is very weak. It does a lot of injustice, lot of corruption. There is no value at all. But this is only a temporary phase. We have not only maladies, we have also remedies. When I spoke in many universities in America and all that, when I speak about India's philosophy, questions will come. Swamiji, you speak of our difficulties and weaknesses here. Have you no maladies in India? I said, yes, we have also maladies, but we have remedies also. You have only malady. Your remedy is worse than the malady. That's what I used to say. And they used to appreciate it. Whatever a psychiatrist will give a theory, it will be worse than the original thing. Whereas our malady, our remedy is far superior, meant for you and meant for me. That here is a spiritual dimension of the human personality that must manifest. All management techniques must take this into account. Why is it there is so much of petty corruption in society? Because we depend only on the intellect. We don't depend upon something deeper. And intellect is a dangerous thing. You can easily purchase an intellect for a few rupees. That's the nature of the intellect. And the greatest evil in India is done by men who have intellect, men who have education. They are the corruptest people in society. That intellect alone will not do. So the Mahabharata speaks of 3 sources of energy in every human being. It's a wonderful statement there. What are the energies in every human being? 3. What are they? Bahubalam, muscular energy. First obvious thing. A child develops Bahubalam by moving his hands and feet in the little on the cradle there. That is Bahubalam. That can develop to a good extent until you become a Muhammad Ali or somebody. But that is the first. The second one is more important. Buddhibalam. By education, we develop buddhi. Very important matter to control the world, to understand it, to find our way in it. That is called Buddhibalam. And the third one is supreme, Atma Balam. The Balam coming from the Atman, infinite self. That is something lacking in India today. We have Buddhi Balam. We have no Atma Balam. Therefore corruption, therefore evil, therefore injustice. All that is going on. That Atma Balam is in me, hidden within. I have not learned to manifest it and in our life. Therefore, Vivekananda defined religion in a scientific language. Religion is a manifestation of the divinity already in man. Divinity is there. All center of value is this divinity. But it is not manifest. It is hidden there. What's use of hidden wealth? Suppose the wealth is hidden under the earth. I am still poor. I must dig and take out that wealth. Then I become rich. That is what India has to do today. And all management techniques, all other aspects of life, and especially all administration will be transformed when this human development takes place. This is the real human development. Beyond the buddhi is the Atman. That Atman must find even a little expression. May not become a saint, but men of character, men of humanistic impulse. Value system must come in. That is what the country needs today. This wonderful idea, Swamiji expounded in one lecture in Madras, Vedanta and its application to Indian life. If you believe you are the Atman, you are one with all, what great good will come from you? A sense of love and concern for others will come. Spirit of service will come naturally at that time. So this is the teaching that Swamiji gave in this modern period. Vedanta was expounded by Shankaracharya, a wonderful way. Earlier in the Upanishads, you have got plenty, Gita also. But they were all sealed books. Today they are open. We have to study them, especially the Gita. We have to study, try to apply and improve the human quality. What is hidden within must become manifest in day-to-day life. So in management, we have one aspect more, and that is power. Every manager has power. How shall we handle power? Today is a big question in India, how to handle power. We have not studied this subject, whereas in English literature you will find Bertrand Russell written a book on power, how to handle power. Here we have to learn that subject, how to handle power. One day I was seeing a policeman in the old Hyderabad, yes, with a stick, pushing a poor man with a cycle, pushing him like that he has got power. He is doing that. Is this the way to do? Is he not your fellow citizen? That idea is not there in the mind of the policeman. So also many others, those who have power, they use it to dominate over other people or exploit them for themselves. That is not the function of power. A new transformation has to come in terms of this definition of yoga given by second chapter, Gita, Yoga, Karmasu, Kaushalam. How does it happen? In the fourth chapter, Krishna says, this yoga I expounded in ancient times to Vivaswan, Manu, etc., etc., etc. But in large course of time, it became diluted and lost. Yogo nashta parantapa. Yoga was lost in this country. I am now giving to you, Arjuna, the same yoga he said. Today Swamiji can say, I am giving the same yoga to you. You have also forgotten that great tradition of yoga. Some superstition, some doctrine, some ritual, that is all your idea of yoga. But now I am giving you this beautiful idea of yoga by which you will benefit, people will benefit, all round benefit will come. So, Shankaracharya gives the answer, why did this yoga became lost? The answer he gives, Durbalan, Ajitendriyan Prapya, Yogo Nashta Parantapa. When yoga fell into the hands of weaklings, physically and mentally weaklings, and people who have no restraint or control of the sensory system, the yoga becomes diluted and lost. I speak in the West, you say, our yoga became like the market, the milk in the Indian market, 90% water, 10% milk. That became our yoga in our country. That must change, must be full yoga. Then you will find a new change coming in the handling of power. Power is essential in society. An army without a general is no meaning. A management without a manager has no meaning. We want power, but we want to know how the power should be used. For that, two words are in one. These are all old ideas, and we associate with the old concept of Raja with a turban or with a crown, etc., etc. No crowned Rajas are available today. Means who handles power, not all it means. And the other is who is spiritual, who is grown spiritually, that is Rishi. You cannot be in the forest, you can be in the household, can be the goldsmith, can be a Rishi. There is no difficulty at all. So this concept must come. Raja, Rishi in one. A manager is handling power. Therefore he is a Raja. He is spiritually developed, though he is a Rishi. This combination can come. This is what Chinese mystical philosophy speaks of. Kingly without, sagely within. That is the language of Confucius and other Chinese thinkers. Kingly without and sagely within. That is Rajarshi. It's a beautiful concept. A man of character is handling power as collector of his district. How much good he can do if he has character. How much bad he can do if he has no character, though he has power. So power without character is dangerous, and we are passing through that stage in India today. We need to combine power with high character, and high character can never come until a little spiritual growth takes place in every human being. Krishna said, you need not be highly spiritual, just a little. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little of this dharma can save us from great fear. In the second chapter he has said there. So the whole aspect of human life in India, individual and collective, will be transformed. When this Vedantic idea enters into the hearts of people, they become true men and women. with tremendous capacity, tremendous ability, and tremendous humanistic impulse, the spirit of service. What can I do for you? How shall I help you? That attitude will be natural in a person of that spiritual growth. So I speak, say, tell a clerk, and I spoke to the Andhra Pradesh Secretary of Staff under Ramarao's presidentship previous occasion, said, do a clerk's work, but not with a clerk's mind, but a citizen's mind. You are a citizen of India. You are one with all others. They are fellow citizens. There is unity between you and them in a democracy. So do a clerk's work, but not with a clerk's mind, but a citizen's mind. Similarly, do your work that you are the Atman. The other person also is the Atman. We are one. We are one. With that attitude, we can achieve tremendous development and also harmony and peace in society. This not only for India, for the whole globe. And we are today discussing things in the global setting. The whole world needs this philosophy today. That is why the Western people are anxious to know more and more of the Upanishad and the Gita. I cannot express to you the tremendous interest in Germany and Holland and other places to hear a bit of the Gita, a bit of the Upanishad, something amazing. We have never had a thing like this for 2,000 years. We had only dogmas and creeds till now. Here is something as an experiment for development. And so this seminar is the beginning. A few others have been done earlier, and this will increase and develop more and more. Probably within a few decades, we shall be able to bring Vedanta from the skies down to the earth in our day-to-day life. That's what Swamiji wanted. I wish you all success. There are distinguished people to expound this idea from various points of view. I all convey to you my love and best wishes. Namaskar.
Swami Siddheswarananda ji from K3 will deliver the talk on application of Vedanta in management. Swamiji.
Let us start with a simple question. Why Indian ethos in management? In short, IEM. I for Indian, E for ethos, and M for management. Why IEM? There is the American management system is there. By American management, we mean four-tailor method mainly, because America every decade is changing its philosophy. Forget the techniques. Very management philosophy they are changing. So, why do we need IEM today? Now, long back, Swami Vivekananda made it very clear that if a country had to develop, had to grow, it should follow its natural inclination. He called it national characteristics, Jatiya Vaishishta. Each and every nation has its own culture. It should grow along with that line. Now later, Dr. Jung, the noted psychologist, experimentally verified this concept. He called it collective unconscious. Freud spoke about individual unconscious, conscious, unconscious, subconscious. According to Jung, one of his most brilliant students, even a nation has its conscious, subconscious, and unconscious layers of mind. So he called it collective unconscious. Now, do you see one thing very interesting? Prior to American management system, there was British system. British system management was older than American, and it worked well. And most of the Americans are basically Europeans, yet the Americans had to develop their own system, especially the four-tailor method, because there is difference between British culture and American culture. Now this four-tailor method produced result, worked well for quite a few decades. But after the Second World War, Japan had to develop their own system based on Zen and Confucianism. Why? Again, there's difference between Japanese culture and American culture. Now what about Indians? Management is based on behavioral science. Do the Indians behave the same way as the Americans do? Certainly not. After liberalization, many things are opening up. Do we like hard and fair method? Technique? Anybody here? Anybody employee who likes hard and fair, which is very common with the Americans? So we see that we must develop our own system. And do we have such a system? We do have. Very interesting thing. Last year in Bombay, one journalist came to interview. She was from a management journal. Her very first question was, how come a monk is teaching management or in the management line? I told her, ma'am, the first effective manager in the history of management was Gautam Buddha. His organization is still there after 2000 years. Name one secular organization which survived so long. Mahavir, or take the case of Parshanath Mahavir, Buddha, they were the effective managers. They produced at the intellectual level. Their followers implemented it, produced result, brought changes. And they were quality conscious. In the ancient world, India was the #1 country in industry and business. Take any history book, you will find there. What went wrong after that? India is a mineral-rich country. Labor is comparatively cheap. Our doctors, our engineers, our students, our teachers are world-class. Even our drivers are world-class. Ask any American driver to drive from Howrah Station to Dalhousie Square via Strand Road. In 5 minutes, he will bang. So Indians are world-class. What went wrong with us? That's a question. The engineers tell us that we need appropriate technology. But before that, let us ask, do we have an appropriate management style? They say Indians are very poor in quality. Just I think last month or so, I don't remember actually, Business India, in one of its articles, they interviewed many CEOs, professionals, and of course customers about the quality of Indian products. Now, according to 88% of Indian CEOs, Indian products are of inferior quality when you compare it with world product. What went wrong? We have so many management institutes. Even in Pune, there are 16 management institutes, 16 small city like Pune. What went wrong? Do we have an appropriate management style? If we are to develop Indian management style, how to go about it? It is still there working. Look at your Udupi hotels, how fast they are growing. They are not scared of Taj or Welcome Group, are they? Go anywhere in the country, you will find a Udupi hotel. So neat and clean. Product, their quality conscious. Cost effectiveness from any standpoint you compare is excellence. They are showing excellence. All Ijjat Papa, run by Indian women. Is there no excellence? The Karnataka wood carvers, especially sandalwood carvers, is there no excellence? Moradabad, famous for brasswork. They are exporting. They do not know what is ISO. They do not know what is TQM. 95% of the products are exported. Is there an excellence? This is Indian management. What is going on? We have to rediscover this and become aware. Another thing we have to face today. Many people, they say, Swami, what you say, fantastic. But in business and industry, imandari will not work. Honesty will not work. I remember one young man, Ramesh, an entrepreneur, very energetic, and out atheist. So one day when he came, Gita class was going on. He waited, he wanted to meet the speaker because he knew him well. So Ramesh waited. When the class was over, the speaker went to the office. Ramesh also came. Then asked, what are you doing there? Like, why Ramesh? You notice the Gita class was going on? Oh, sir, you are so progressive minded. You are so intelligent. Why you teach all these nonsense things? What is nonsense about Gita, Ramesh? Aha, this is now Jamana badal gaya. Time has changed. These 2000 years old values will not work. Don't you see the world? Honesty does not work. Very good, Ramesh. So what is your philosophy? It's simple. Make money, enjoy the life. Very fantastic. Such a simple philosophy, simpler than Aurobindo Shankaracharya. What to speak about Vivekananda? Well, but Ramesh, why you are here today? Because generally you do not come on Sundays. So Ramesh blushed and brought out a card from his pocket. Sir, I am getting married. So I have come to invite you. Good. So, he took the card. Ramesh waits Savita and then reception time and all these things. Ramesh, do you like your wife to be faithful or unfaithful? Well, faithful obviously. Well, why? Let her be unfaithful, let her move out with anybody she likes and enjoy the life, your philosophy. Ramesh, you are in business. Do you like your partner to be honest or dishonest? Honest, why? Let him be dishonest. Tum bhi usko chuna lagao, wo bhi tumko chuna lagayenge and enjoy the life, your philosophy. Ramesh, you like your employees to be hardworking or kamchor? Hardworking, why? Let them smoke bidi in the shop floor and enjoy the life, your philosophy. Ramesh could not say anything. But sir, you see, these are old values, 2000 years old values. Yes, Ramesh. That's why these are credible. During this last 2000 or 5000 years, these values are tested and retested. And your values, hardly 50 years old. These are yet to prove their credibility. So today the question is not whether we need honesty or dishonesty. Today the question should be how to apply, how to make honesty effective. We have to face, otherwise, if as a businessman, if as an industrialist, I say honesty does not work, then my union leader has every right to follow that philosophy. Are we ready? Or we are suffering from inner contradiction. Now, in IEM offers a better method. Honesty is the best policy. Do you believe in it? How many of you? Be frank. Honesty is the best policy. How many of you believe in it? 1, 2, all right, minority. Major, yet minority. I do not believe that honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the only policy. There cannot be any good, better, best policy. Only policy. We shall discuss how honesty, how ethical values can produce better result. Because we have to show that ethical values do help in productivity, profitability and growth. We have to make our nation, our India great. Just preaching philosophy is not enough. We have to implement. And we shall discuss some case studies also, how it was applied and what is the result it produced. But it will come a bit later. So for main two reasons, today we need Indian ethos in management, IEM. Number one, we are working in a particular country, it is culture specific, is very important in management. Second, we have to show that ethical values pay better dividends. For these two reasons mainly, we need IEM. Because Americans, every decade they are changing their philosophy. Ford Taylor, Peter Drucker, Tom Peters, and now one Indian gentleman, what is his name? Mr. Lakshman. Core competency? Mr. Prahlad. Thank you. Every decade, Americans are changing their philosophy. But look at Japan. They are not changing their basic philosophy. Basic philosophy remains the same. They're changing, sometimes they change their application. Implementation. Why? Japanese management is based on Zen, Confucianism, religion. Well, now question is, what is IEM? We also try to understand it. How do the Indians work? Well, before that, I'd like to show you the characteristics of Indian psyche. These are so-called rationalists who do not believe in religion and all these things. So once, I remember at that time I was posted in Advaita Ashram when revered Anantha Maharaj was the president there. So he asked me, Swamiji, why do you believe in all these things? Religion and all these things, irrational. So I tried to explain that intellect is not the only thing. Emotions are very important, but Swamiji, we don't believe. So I asked him, sir, if you don't mind, may I ask you a personal question? Well, yes. Your marriage, was it love marriage or arranged? Well, it was love marriage. Now, why did you marry that particular lady? Before marrying, you should have taken interview and should have asked the questions like, can you prepare idli, dosa or machar jhol? And you do it. There should be written question, there should be interview. But Swamiji, how can it be? It is a love marriage. Well, love is based on emotions. And they say love is blind. So question is, emotion is more important to the Indians than intellect. And today, after this two-brain theory, Roger Sperry, am I right? Roger Sperry, he was awarded Nobel Prize in 86 or 84, actually, I do not remember actually, exactly. He was awarded Nobel Prize in Medicine and Physiology. His theory was of two brain theory, left brain and right brain, left brain intellectual part and right brain emotional part. And he says, according to him, we should focus more on right brain because it helps us to develop creativity, intuition, power and all these things. Third, they prefer natural leaders than official leaders.